Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
Breaking news at 5 in downtown LA. Police are in pursuit of a shooting suspect.
Desmond Shaw is live now in SkyCal with more. Desmond?
Oh boy, Chauncey and Pat, this is a really dangerous pursuit here with LAPD. In pursuit is his shooting suspect. Believe it, 5 people in the car right now. We're on Figueroa here at the moment. Of course, we're in the heart of downtown, trying to get around these really tall buildings. So hang with us here as we try to keep with this one. Where we are headed now at this point. I think we're going westbound. Okay, westbound here underneath the convention center. So this driver of this vehicle has already gotten into several crashes. We were on the 110 freeway, clipped a couple of cars. I think might have lost both of his mirrors on this one. We were the wrong way on Figueroa at one point. Now we are on the outskirts of downtown LA, right around LA Live. Got very close to some pedestrians, some cyclists, some skateboarders out there flying here back onto the northbound 110. Look at him blasting by all of this traffic. Insanely desperate suspect. Can't believe they haven't already lost control at this point. Pulling out all the stops to avoid the authorities here. LAPD really seems like they want this one. I don't think they're going to let it go if they can avoid it here. Clipped another vehicle. That's at least the 3rd or 4th collision now that we've seen. Obviously, we're in the heart of rush hour. Northbound 110 is stopped, so that makes this that much more stressful for everybody out here right now, Pat and Chauncey.
And that's amazing that when you say there are 5 people in that vehicle, and this, that was just another sideswipe, right? So that makes probably number 5 in terms of this driver and just driving recklessly. Do we know how this started? You mentioned that they were on the freeway at one point, the 110 freeway.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay, now
we haven't heard about the details of the shooting now at this point. Obviously, this is, you know, the most difficult place to cover pursuit. It's probably what the suspect wants right now, to just try thinking if they can drive as crazy as possible, maybe they can get LAPD to ditch them. But LAPD so far is not letting this one go. And again, it is a shooting suspect, so you would think that they would just stick with it. I mean, this is just insane, the kind of driving that we're seeing right now, 50, 60 miles an hour. I think we're going the wrong way right now on the street as we pass by the Bonaventure Hotel and underneath all of these streets right here. But we to keep with this really insane. Oh my goodness, nearly clipped somebody else right there. Wow. I mean, we've already seen 3 or 4 crashes. I don't know how this one doesn't end really badly, guys.
I know, Des, as we watch all of this play out, this is a shooting suspect, according to police, but you said 5 people may be inside of this car?
That was what we heard. Occupied 5 times is their code for 5 people in the vehicle. Blasting by 80 miles an hour. Is that for real in the center divider right now? That's what our speedometer telling us. And the suspect nearly losing it right there. Yeah, nearly losing it, completely wiping out right there as we are on Temple right now, blasting through all of this traffic. He's going to go right underneath us right now. Bear with us as we try to readjust our shot. Going underneath the 110 freeway right now. Oh boy, LAPD is really having trouble keeping up with this one here. Really sorry about the camera there. Okay, as we are now out of downtown Los Angeles and still flying along here, ignore our speedometers, it's trying to catch up, but this is just Oh, another collision there.
You know,
sideswipe that person and
I asked earlier,
now out of the vehicle, at least the oh boy.
No, this was my question.
At least they're out.
This was my question, Desmond. How can he have 5 people in the car, even if one wants to possibly end his life in driving so recklessly? I can't imagine that other people will go along with it. And they're just as we've talked about this.
Oh, school kids.
It looks like all of them are out. Is that correct?
A school?
Yeah, they're all out. I think this is a school right over here. It looks like you see a bunch of kids running around out there. LAPD arriving. They went underneath this house right here. And right here, I believe this is a school. Try to get the name for it here shortly. You see LAPD's helicopter overhead. Cortez School is what our map tracker is telling us right now. They ran underneath this awning. There was 5 of them. They scattered. This is going to be really difficult for LAPD, even though they were right behind them there. The authorities were, the suspects rather, were able to get underneath a pretty tall awning there pretty quickly and out of the eye of LAPD's helicopter.
And Des, this is going to be a very concerning situation right here, especially with it being so close to a school. I don't know if you saw the some folks over there in the parking lot. I don't know if those were students, but it looked like even before they took off, there might have been some students in this parking lot, which is right beside the building, seemingly where these suspects ran into.
Well, you know what? It's after school hours, so hopefully the school is closed and there aren't students there.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure how long after-school programs last, and hopefully maybe Mike can give us some more direction on that.
Yeah, this is the building that Desmond's looking at is the school, and it does look like there were some kids there, maybe an after-school program. I think goes until 6 o'clock. The other thing that I wanted to point out, I just played the radio traffic back from when this first started, and it sounds like it's a Newton gang unit that initiated this pursuit of these shooting suspects. So, shooting suspect, and you know, we don't know how many of them are actually suspects as you're looking at the crash there on the right side of your screen, and then they all get out. One of them was under that awning, as Desmond mentioned, and then it looked like a couple of them may have run actually towards the school, and we saw those kids running. I don't see the kids anymore, so hopefully those after-school care staff were able to get the kids into a safe place away, and you know, now there's law enforcement there on the ground. But yeah, I mean, they are a couple of them proned out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so they've
that's
given
2
up.
of 5 right there. Yeah, 2 of 5 right here that are sprawled out, but I know at least 2 or 3 others went running. You know what may have happened is that collision, I'm sure, was pretty loud, and those kids probably heard it, and they heard the lights and sirens, and whoever the adult was probably told them to, get inside immediately is what I'm guessing, because you saw all those poor kids immediately go running into the building. So, hopefully they were able to get into a locked room away from, we're saying a Newton gang unit. I got to tell you, a lot of the pursuits, the most insane, dangerous ones we've seen have involved alleged gang members. So I can't say that I'm too surprised by that information. But at least we have 2 of 5 sprawled out. But it's unclear who the shooting suspect is. Most likely the driver, of course. That's always the one that they want. And I'm guessing that one of those that is splayed out is not the driver. So there's still a couple of other people that they need to find here.
Well, I guess the good news here, guys, is that this pursuit is over.
Oh, yeah.
At least they are not on the street or on the freeways endangering other people. That would be the best news, and that they at least have 2 in custody. Again, this was just so. It could have ended even more violently, though. Thank goodness so far no one was hurt in this. At least we don't, physically hurt.
Right.
I'm not talking about the damages to vehicles.
Especially when they're driving on the wrong side of the road. And that is, almost the guarantee way to get the cops to stop chasing you. And I saw that slick top Newton unit, that gang unit, went the wrong way with the driver, which is very, very unusual. Noticing that LAPD has actually 2 helicopters over this right now. So whatever this was, and we don't know if it's a fresh shooting or if it's we ran the license plate and the car came back to it. But they definitely wanted these people. To follow them wrong way through downtown is unusual and, extraordinary. And then the fact that they've also got 2 law enforcement helicopters over this scene so that they can make sure they try to locate everybody involved.
Several of collisions, most of them, were mostly just trading paint or knocking off mirrors. Very unfortunate for everyone involved in those crashes. But this person got so close to wiping out some pedestrians out there at several different junctures in downtown LA, even driving the wrong way on Figueroa, head-on traffic going 60 miles an hour. So that really just tells you how much LAPD wanted to get these suspects. I mean, we've seen it so often where it almost seems like some of these suspects know if the crazier they drive, the higher the probability that LAPD especially will be willing to let it go. But LAPD made a different calculation this time, and this was a pursuit suspect that they really wanted to get. Not clear if they have the suspect yet in custody. These are the only 2 of the 5 believed in the vehicle, and my instinct's telling me that neither one of these are the drivers. But just an insanely dangerous pursuit, and you're right, Pat. Boy, this could have ended so much worse.
And as we can see there, law enforcement are armed and at the ready. They have their guns pointed in the direction of the school, which is unfortunate, obviously, for the kids there, and hopefully they're all inside and do not have any, view to any of this that is that's going on. From where you are, Des, can you tell if they've fanned out? We're focusing on this shot right here in front. Do we see other officers setting up a perimeter or actually going through some of those buildings? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, don't see them going through the buildings yet. I see some officers out here on the periphery of the school. They're definitely trying to seal this area down. I know the helicopters overhead, their technical flight officers trying to guide some of the units in here. Unfortunately, I think they may have lost visual of the driver of the vehicle just as we did. They went underneath this awning right here. May have climbed that fence, and I mean, they might be in the school right now. We haven't heard that they've taken any other suspects into custody yet at this point. So, you know, even though LAPD was right on their tail the entire time, the suspect, you know, a couple of them anyway, were still able to evade capture, at least for now.
And Des, I know all of them just suddenly dispersed there once getting out of the car, but that awning you talked about, that's the awning onto the school. So there's you know, it's very likely that one or two of those suspects might have run into, at least on the campus of this school, because behind the fence is the campus, correct?
Yes, yes it is. I mean, they would have to scale that fence, but, you know, a lot of these suspects running on adrenaline, and they hadn't been running that far, so they may have been able to get over that fence. You know, we saw those students or whoever was on the campus there reacting very, very quickly, so I'm sure that they are inside. We're hopefully able to get into one of these you know, buildings right here, into a locked building, or, you know, out to the front of the campus, so that they are not in harm's way either. We did hear that they believe that the suspect was armed with a gun. So, you know, that's another complicating factor, just depending on how desperate that suspect really is.
You know, it makes you wonder if the school, you know, we've been hearing all the stories about school police, about not having them. This would certainly be a time where you would want school police, I would imagine, just to be inside, you know, on that campus, and possibly helping to notify LAPD where if they see more suspects. Is this the second suspect, Desmond, that's being handcuffed right now?
Yeah, this is one of the ones that was splayed out there that we saw. And again, we saw two of them basically willfully give up at the end. But it was believed that as many as 5 were in the car. And I'm pretty sure the driver is one of the ones that took off, running back behind this building, up this driveway right here, into the rear of the school, into this area right here. There is some... Okay, there is some chatter I'm hearing on the radio. They may have located another suspect right now outside of the school. So we'll see if they're able to bring anybody else here into custody shortly.
Yeah, you know what? You wonder if it's quite a bit of time has gone by. So they could be anywhere when you say outside of the school. Hopefully they have seen this third suspect, but the time involved and where they are concentrated right here in front of the school,
and
they could have, you know, fanned out into other areas.
And Des, I didn't see any other officers running, you know, near the school or onto the campus, or even here on the side. It seems to be focused right here at this intersection in front of the school.
Yeah, I think they wanted to, you know, secure the vehicle, and you had, again, a couple of those that were willing to surrender, so they wanted to make sure that they got them. By the time that they were out of their vehicle, the units that arrived, I didn't see any of them go running back into this area. It sounds like they might be talking about this liquor store here on the corner, possibly, is some of the chatter that I think I just heard about, where they may suspect another one of the suspects are. But we'll widen out and show you the area that we're talking about. You can see LAPD over here, so put up the map tracker. This is off of Temple and Douglas Street. So that's the western end of the perimeter. But there's one of the 2 helicopters overhead on this one as well.
Okay.
But I still have not heard anyone else being taken into custody.
Well, Des, we are going to make sure that we come back to you for more information on what happens out there, those developments. But thanks so much so far. We know that this ended in a crash, and they have 2 suspects in custody. All right, Des, we'll be getting back to you. But we do have more breaking news to tell you about at 5 o'clock. Breaking news near downtown LA, where police are searching for the driver after a pursuit ended in a crash.
Desmond Shaw is live now in SkyCal with more. Des?
Chauncey and Pat put up the map tracker, show you the streets we're talking about here off of Temple and Edgeware on the outskirts of downtown LA on the north side. The massive response by LAPD that has this area locked down, as well as this school right here, where they're looking for at least 2 more suspects. So we had first heard that there were 5 in the car, but now there may have only been 4. They're now saying that they are looking for 2 people, and we saw at least 2 people being taken into custody, but they really want to get the driver that caused this this crash, this really insane pursuit, ended with them slamming into this light pole after clipping another vehicle. The last known location was near this red Tesla in the rear, the parking area of this home right here. We saw them have to come and get a resident of the area safely out of here, so it's unclear if that suspect made entry into that home or if they hopped that pretty tall fence right there onto the campus of the school here. LAPD is now on the grounds of the school, scouring it. They still have their 2 helicopters overhead looking for 2 people involved in this pursuit. Pat and Chauncey, back to you now in the studio.
All right, we will check back in with you again, Desmond. Thanks for that update.
Oh, another collision there.
Right now at 6, breaking news, a wild and dangerous chase through downtown LA. We just watched suspects wanted in a shooting bouncing off a bunch of cars as they try to escape from police. And KCAL assignment editor Mike Rogers is following this at the desk along with Des up in SkyCal. But first to Mike.
Yeah, Pat, I mean, wild and dangerous, I don't even think really is enough to describe exactly what we saw. This person lost both the mirrors on this car from bouncing from car to car on the freeway, on surface streets. We saw them go the wrong way. I want to show you live pictures from SkyCal right now because this all ended here, right at the edge of Cortez School. That is where the suspects are currently held up. 2 of them they think are still outstanding. Let's go up to Desmond Shaw, who was over the chase from the start. Des.
Yeah, Mike, really insane pursuit. Amazing that it didn't end as any worse than it did. Let's show you some of those highlights, or lowlights, if you will. First, on the freeway, clipping several vehicles, taking off their mirrors and the innocent folks' mirrors. And then they were driving the wrong way through streets of downtown, including Figueroa and I believe Hope near the Bonaventure Hotel. Very close to some collisions there. Got awfully close to pedestrians out there just trying to, enjoy a beautiful day out here. And then the collision. Well, actually, a near miss here as they kind of lost control trying to get around the 110 freeway, regained control, but then lost it here off of Temple and Edgeware north of downtown Los Angeles, clipping another vehicle and then into a light pole, and then all the suspects out of the vehicle and running. 2 people, actually, they did not run. They surrendered to LAPD, but they're still looking for at least 1 or 2 more here with reason to believe that they are somewhere in the vicinity of this building, 1306 Temple. You see LAPD on the roof of this one. Trying to get the alleged shooting suspect into custody after the end of an insanely dangerous pursuit. Mike, back to you.
Yeah, Des, and moments ago I was able to talk to the LAPD that said this shooting call was what they call a fresh shooting. So LAPD chasing these suspects moments after this reported shooting. Now, apparently that happened at Main and Adams, and now they're not sure if an actual gun was used. It may have been a paintball gun that was used against these victims. LAPD is still trying to sort it out. They put out what they call a hospital alert. They want the local hospitals to be on the lookout for any kind of gunshot victims that may show up there. They did have 1 victim, again, suffering from lacerations from what they now believe to be maybe a paintball gun. So LAPD still has a lot to sort out. That is not uncommon in these situations where you have what's called a fresh shooting, Pat. But obviously LAPD is still trying to find the 2 suspects there. We're going to keep SkyCal here for a bit longer. At least they have that building surrounded. And Pat, the really good news is now we don't think those suspects ever got onto that school campus, that elementary school. Kind of terrifying to see all those kids run from the playground as soon as that crash happened and those guys took off running. So hopefully they're contained to that building and not actually on the school campus.